One of the greatest experiences I had running my agency was when I ran this summit where Hugh Jackman was one of the speakers. And just a few days after, the book that we promoted in this summit became a New York Times bestseller. So yeah, when you do summit, crazy things can happen. The important thing is about doing the best summit that you can. This summit was a summit organized by Terry Real. Terry is one living legend. He is basically the relationship therapist of the biggest stars in the world. Some of the people that he worked with are Hugh Jackman, that's why I was in the summit, Bradley Cooper, Bruce Springsteen, and many others. He appeared in all the podcasts that you can imagine, from Huberman to Tim Ferriss, and he's really a living legend because so many people look up to him. And this summit about relationship was done because he was launching his new book, Us, which was a book that for him mattered so much. He really wanted to take the message in this book and bring it to the entire world. And he came to me and asked me, Alessio, what can we do to take the message of this book all around the world? And I told him, look, it's very simple, Terry. Let's do a summit. You interview the best therapists, the best people in relationship, some of your top clients, and we bring everyone together around relationship, around this topic, and we give to everyone that upgrade to the VIP part of the summit also your book. Now, I didn't really know how that was going to go. I was quite afraid of that actually. But the reality is that it was a huge success. Something that has never been done before, but something that really changed the way in which book got launched. We did this summit and we got 60,000 people to sign up live. We sold 5,000 books through the summit, and then more than 2,000 people bought the book during the summit directly on Amazon. So we sold 7,000 books in a week, and all the 7,000 books got counted towards the launch of this book that allowed it to become a New York Times bestseller. Now, the coolest thing is that whenever you launch a book, you normally just sell books. You don't have the email of these people, you cannot contact them back, you cannot do anything else. And you usually spend a lot of money to get these books in the hands of people, and you basically make no money back from the books. So it's really not great from an economical perspective. But this time was different, because thanks to a summit, we had the email of all the people that participated on the summit, all the people that purchased the book, and then we could offer to everyone that participated and that purchased the book to upgrade to a group coaching program with Terry that allowed him to generate a very good profit from the summit. So he was able to build a list, get a lot more subscribers, get a lot more people that buy the book and have a good profit. What's better than this? Since that experience, I fell completely in love with summits. And I've been obsessing myself and my agency on how to run the best summits on earth. We've been working on over 30 different summits, running ads for them, producing them, and scaling them up. We even own our own summit company right now because I truly believe so much in this model. And today I'm gonna share all I learned around summits. A lot of people think that summit is all about getting cheap leads. And frankly, that's how summits were born. Back in the days, people used to do the affiliate summit, which basically means I'm inviting you to speak at my summit only if you send emails for the summit. That's pretty fun, right? Today, summit evolved a bit. There are still some people that do summit like an affiliate summit, but the way in which I prefer to do it is different. I want to make it a bit more like a real event with some headliner, with some very qualitative speaker, some affiliate speaker, and then some other speaker that can probably email to their own list, but at the same time, they can simply bring a lot of value to the event. And that's really what matters to me. I don't really care about getting cheap leads. I care about getting leads that want to upgrade, want to become customer, and want to stay in my list, because that's how I can keep on monetizing after the summit. Now, a summit is also a fantastic way to build your authority. And I always say it's about borrowing authority. Think about it. If you do the best summit on meditation and you are the host and you get the best meditation teacher on earth to come to the summit, everyone else will think that those are a great meditation teacher and that you are a great meditation teacher as well. Why? Because you hosted the biggest summit on meditation on earth. And that's how it works. You get a lot of borrowed authority from other people. And other people want to join your summit as a speaker because they can say, I'm sharing the stage with the biggest speaker on meditation. That's how it works. Authority really sells. Authority really drives a lot of speakers to speak at summit, but also a lot of people to buy and upgrade the programs because they want to figure out the topic and they want to learn from the best. So that's a huge secret on why summit work and why a lot of people want to run their own summit. Now, I know I just said that big name speakers can make a summit successful, but there is the other side of the medal, and that's the topic. It's extremely important that you find the right topic and the right name for your summit, because the wrong topic can absolutely destroy your summit. Sometimes you get tons of sign-up for your summit, but no sales. Why? Because the topic that you choose is not a topic that has a lot of higher purchase intent. You want to make sure that you find a topic that's specific, a topic that's monetizable, a topic that allows you to generate revenues. Let's give an example. If you do a personal growth summit, that's way too general, right? I've done a summit like that in the past and one of my clients really wanted to do it and it just didn't work because you're not selling anything. Personal growth means nothing, right? But if you're doing a very specific summit where you're talking about spirituality, or where you're talking about parenting, or where you're talking about screen addiction for kids, that really works. So it's very important that you go niche and that you go into something that's a real problem. So always look around in your market and think, on this specific topic that I'm doing my summit, are there courses? Are there products? Are there people that are actually purchasing programs on this topic? If it's yes, then it's probably a very good idea to do a summit on that. Recruiting the right speakers for the summit, it's a very big topic. And you know what? When I started my marketing agency, the first thing I did was to organize my own summit. And that was a fantastic experience because that's how I recruited people, and that's exactly how I recommend all of my clients to recruit the speakers. First, I started with my connection. I had already some good connection in the marketing space, so I started from that and I recruited them as speaker for my summit. That worked really well because it allowed me to get my first 8 speakers. Some of them were already very good headliners. Some other people were people that definitely contributed and were good quality speakers. After that, I went and looked around in all the other different summits and I look who are the speakers that are speaking at every single summit. And then I reach out to them and I ask them, do you want to join my summit? And most of all these people say yes. This is what I call the second tier speaker. People that are good, have a good audience, but they participate in every summit, which means it's pretty easy to get them. Then after that, I already had a good roster of people and I went to the affiliates because they were able to say that this was a very good summit and so they wanted to actually promote it. So the affiliate came in and as long as they could promote a good summit, they were really excited about this. And last but not the least, I wanted to add the quality speakers. People that will bring incredible content even if they were not famous, because the quality of the content in a summit really matters. Now, when I arrived at this level, I already had my 30 speakers and 2 things started to happen. Number 1, referrals. A lot of the speakers started referring other speakers. And always ask this simple question at the end of every interview that you record with the speakers. Ask them, is there any other person in the marketing space, or in your space in your case, that we could invite to the summit? They will always be happy to recommend your friend. It's definitely working very well. And last but not the least, go cold. Once you have a summit with 30 people, it doesn't matter who is organizing the summit. They don't really care about that. All they care about is like, wow, the biggest speakers in the space are speaking at this summit. I want to be there too. That's how I recruited Jay Abram to speak for free at my own summit without any previous connection with him. That's because I simply pitched to him. And when he saw that my summit was an incredible summit, he wanted to join. I've seen this happening in all the different spaces, in all the different industries. This just works. So always start with your own connection, go with the second tier speakers, add the affiliates, add quality, ask for referrals, and then, last but not the least, make sure that you go cold. You might get some incredible speakers that you never imagined would be possible. I know that sometimes you might say, I don't have any connection with any high quality speaker, with any headliner. How do I get them in? So there are a few different ways to do it. Sometimes getting a good referral is good. So don't just look at who are you connected with, but look at who your connection are connected with. I've seen this over and over and over again. When you build something cool, other people want to help you a lot more. When you're building something that's not really cool, other people don't want to help you, right? So make sure that first you're building something that's amazing, and then ask your connection to refer to the content, because this will make sure that your connection will look good as well. On the other hand, another strategy is to pay speakers. And sometimes it's not even too expensive to pay a speaker for an online summit, because think about that. In the end, you're just asking 30 minutes of their time on Zoom, right? It's pretty simple and it's pretty straightforward. And it's something that doesn't cost much, and with a few $1,000s, you can probably get a good speaker. So always think that that could be an option, and that could be a way to bring some people in. Most times, you build a summit because you want to sell your own program on the back end. So you really need to make sure that the speaker align with the offer. Now, what's important is that they need to align topic-wise. They don't always need to align from helping you to sell the program. The speaker can be part of it for sure. They can maybe say a couple of words about the program, but if they don't, it's still fine. Because remember, people sign up for a summit because they love the topic. People want to watch the speaker. And then, at the end of that, once you brought the speaker and once the speaker shared the things, you can use your program as a synthesis. Always think about that. In a summit, you might have 20, 30, 40, even 50 different speakers speaking around the topic. And what happens after someone listens to 50 people speaking about a topic? They are confused. And what they need after confusion? They need a specific thing that helps them moving forward. And that's how you need to position your own product, as the synthesis of all those different things, so that then they can take and go to the next level. So even if a speaker doesn't help you to sell your own product, the fact that they were part of this entire summit can help on that. So don't worry about that. For sure, your affiliates or some of your friends can help you sell the program, but not all the speakers need to help you sell the program. One of the biggest mistakes that people do when they organize a summit is that they interview every speaker and then they try to sell something. That's really bad. And you know why? Because when you interview every speaker, you are not the expert. You are the host, right? When you are the host, for sure you get some board authority, which is good, but that doesn't mean that people think that you're a great teacher. They might think that you're a great host that asks good questions, and that's it. Now, if you want to make the transition between being a host and selling your own program, you need also to transition yourself from the host to the teacher. The number one thing I do to transition from being the host to actually the person that can make a lot of money in a summit is that I start every single day of the summit with a lesson from the host. Maybe even a 1 hour deep dive into the specific topic. In this way, you're not just the host, you are the teacher. And when you're the teacher and you're teaching, people are like, okay, this guy is the real deal. And is also asking the questions. And that really positions you in a very different way. In the moment, the sales of your program really change, because you're not the host that just brings people together, you are an expert. And in that case, you are a top expert in the world of meditation, of spirituality, of abundance, of anything that you're organizing. So always make the move. Don't be the host, be the teacher. That will absolutely make sure that you can generate a lot more revenues in your summit. Pitching in a multi-day summit is a very important topic, because people can pitch in different times. Now, in all the summits that I run, day one was the day with the highest show up rate. So waiting too long to pitch your product is not a good idea. My suggestion is always to start revealing your program from the beginning. Because remember, people that are joining the summit, especially the ones that are joining the summit for free, are already getting a lot of value. And they don't mind if you start selling a bit during the summit, because hey, you bring in 50 speakers for free. That's not really bad. As long as you don't transform your own summit into a pitch fest, that's still good. So I normally select 3 times a day, which are the times in which I teach and then sell, and then I come back and interact with the audience and do some sales. It's very important to have different sales pitch during the day and to make sure that sometimes you pitch to emotional buyers, sometimes to logical buyers, and sometimes to fear buyers. So always give some urgency, always give some scarcity, always use the huge sense of community that a summit creates, because this will really help you to generate a lot more sales than you expect. Would it be better to pitch one single offer or a lot of micro offers? It highly depends. There are summits that focus a lot on pitching the offers of the speakers of the summit. These are a bit more affiliate summits, right? In that specific case, different people will do different pitches, and that's something that can work. There are other cases where the entire summit sell one unique offering. Now, this is better if you or your company is organizing the summit and you want to generate a lot of revenues from this and you already have a good product. Another great way to pitch your product is to pitch your product after the summit. Yeah, I know, sounds interesting, right? You finish the summit and people are overwhelmed. And then you tell them, don't worry guys, I auto-enroll you into something that I'm doing the next week that will allow you to take action from this summit. And usually this could be a webinar or it could be a challenge. But you want to make sure that people transform the insight from the summit to action. And this challenge or this webinar are an incredible way to convert people from the summit into your product. This is obviously very good whenever you have your own offer, your own product, and you want to keep on selling and do very well. People will feel that this is the next step of the summit and really generate a lot of interest around this, a lot of purchases around this, and obviously take your summit revenues to the next level. It's true, summits can be a lot more of a branding or lead magnet funnel rather than a high ticket selling funnel. Absolutely. But there are also different ways of doing summits. Now, if you focus on doing a low ticket summit, all you're focusing on is sell the recording of the summit and try to upsell some mid-ticket products. On the other hand, if you want to sell a high-ticket product, there is another way of doing summits. Those summits is what I call the high-ticket summit, and they're a bit different than the one that I just mentioned. The high-ticket summit has a lot less speakers. So instead of having 50 speakers, they might have a maximum of 10. Usually it's done on a 3-day event, and this 3-day event has a maximum of 4 hours of content each day. Because if in a normal summit we are trying to overwhelm our users with too much content so they need to upgrade them by the recording, here in the smaller summit you want to make sure that people actually attend and you don't even sell the recording. You are actually trying to mirror the classic 3-day event that happened offline. It's just that this time it happens online. Think about it. Brands like Mindvalley do a lot of summits like that. Like they have done AI summit, social media summit, manifesting summit, and have been very successful, selling 5K program on the back end of that. They have done that by doing a small summit with few speakers, and those speakers were the one that then will be part of the mastery program they were selling on the back end. Even other companies like ClickFunnels did something similar, first with Funnel Hacking Live offline, and then they brought those recordings online and they sold the high ticket programs on the back end. So it is really a different model, and don't confuse the two. If you have a high ticket program, don't go for a low ticket summit, go for a high ticket summit. If you have a low ticket program or a mid ticket program, then go for a low ticket summit. When a summit is successful, wow, it's pretty easy when it makes money. You want to make sure that the summit generate leads, that obviously people show up, that they have a good experience. These are all important. But when you don't have an economical return from a summit, you cannot say that the summit was successful. It's extremely important to make sure that your summit generates revenues. And it needs to happen on advertising. So you need to have a good ROAS, good return on ad spend. You need to have good affiliates that send you traffic and this traffic convert very well. And then your own audience need to respond very well to the summit. Now, having those revenue, having this profit is fundamental. Because just in these cases, you can take the summit, evergreen it, and then take it to the absolute next level. You really need to nail this part A summit is a formula, it's a system. Once all the parts of the system come together, it really works. If you skip some part of the system, if you skip some part of the formula, then it's easy to have a summit that doesn't really perform. Now, the number one mistake that summit owners make around a summit is that they don't pre-validate their summits. That's something that makes me mad. Imagine spending so much money to build a team, to bring speakers, to build pages, to attract traffic, to get affiliates, to spend money on advertising, and then the summit doesn't work. When there is a specific methodology that allows you to pre-validate your summit and make sure that your summit will have a lot more success than the one that you're actually doing. Wouldn't you do that? Of course you will do that. And that's what we call the pre-validation framework. This is a framework that allows you to create over 25 names, take all those different names, test them against each other on advertising to look where people will click the most. That shows you where is the most intent, where is the most interest in the different topics of your summit. And after that, you can even take the winners and create very fake summit landing pages to really try to understand which summit will people sign up for versus the summit that people will not sign up for. And once you're able to create something like that and to test it out for just a few $100s, you are really able to understand when a summit is successful versus when a summit is absolutely not successful. You really need to make sure that you pre-validate your summit every single time. One of my clients, founder, they ran an incredible summit on e-com. And the first time they ran it, they had an incredible amount of cost per lead, about $15. And then we did the pre-validation framework. We readjusted the name of their summit and their topic. We rerun everything and their cost per lead was $5. 1/3 of the initial cost that they had. That's all because when you pre-validate the framework, when you pre-validate the summit name, you really know what you're doing and you can convert a lot more. That's what makes the difference. Look, I'm absolutely not the smartest person on earth. If I'm here telling you why and how to do a summit, is because I've already learned what not to do. So I'm the one that made the most mistakes. All the things that I'm telling you not to do are mistakes that I made in the past. I'm the one that did the personal growth summit because I thought it would be a good idea. I'm the one that tried to do summit with bad speakers because it's like, yeah, speakers don't really matter. I'm the one that tried not to have a VIP option in a summit because, yeah, that doesn't really work. I'm the one that did summit without a host that becomes a teacher because who cares about that? Look, all of these things that I'm telling you are really mistakes that I have done. So please don't do the same mistake. Save yourself a lot of money. You really need it. I know, summits are not easy. Like recruiting speakers, figuring out the logistic, taking all the videos together, putting them all together, running a live for 10 hours is a lot of work. If you compare that to doing a webinar, it's just like incredibly different. But the scale that a summit can reach is really on a whole different level. I really think the summits, they're not a funnel, they're a company. Like, think about that, right? You can literally run a summit, you can have a funnel and generate revenues. That's step one. And then you can also sell sponsorship for your summit. That's a whole other thing. You can even take your summit and bring it offline. That's a physical event. That's a whole other thing. You can take a summit and take snippets of the summit and transform it into a podcast. That's a whole other thing. You can take snippets of the summit and create the most amazing reel and shorts. That's a whole other thing. You can do a lot of incredible things in a summit, and that can really allow you to go to the next level. So that's really what I want from you. You really need to understand that a summit is not a funnel, it's a company, it's a system, it's a model, it's a business model. And once you figure out how to work very well in this business model, you can generate a very big list, you can have so many speakers that speak at your summit, you can generate a lot of revenues, and you can take this to the next level, while giving access to incredible education to so many people. That's what you really want to do. Summit is all about leverage. If you're a person that's starting out, I have no connection, I have no money, doing a summit is probably not for you. Or at least it's not for you yet, right? You need to grow a little bit, create a bit more connection, and take the things to the next level. Because imagine trying to get speakers when no one knows you. Imagine trying to run ads without a budget. Imagine trying to manage everything without a team. That's just too difficult. But then, if you have the right connection, if you have a good budget, if you know what you're doing, if you know how to sell, then a summit becomes a lot simpler and something that you can use to leverage your whole work. That's what really makes a difference. So always focus on leverage. If you do have some leverage, do a summit. If you don't, then maybe it's not the right time. I know, a summit is a lot of work. And especially if you do all of this work to run the summit once, it really doesn't make a lot of sense. Sure, you can make money, sure, you can get leads, but all of this work, probably months of work to run the summit once, doesn't really matter, right? But there is a very important thing. You can turn the summit into a huge evergreen asset. And that's very important. What does it mean having an evergreen asset? It means taking the same summit and rerun it every single month, maybe even every single week, completely automated. That's something that I do. I built an entire company around that, Summits for Impact. And that's all it does. It takes summits that were sitting there and we partner with them and transform them into summits that are happening every single week. Now, how does this work? You want to take every single part of a summit and you want to make sure that you evergreen it. It means that every summit run every Monday. It means that everything becomes very simple, that day 1 is always on Monday, day 2 is always on Tuesday, day 3 is always on Wednesday. So you automate every single part of that. You still have a community of people going through the summit, which is great and really help, but at the same time, you're really doing this in a smart way. Now, the good thing is that you can continuously drive advertising to this summit. What does it mean? You can run advertising to it so that people sign up every single week and people can purchase the summit every single week. Affiliates can send traffic every week. You have your own list and you can send traffic every single week. So that continues to generate revenues, continue to generate leads, continue to scale your business automated, using the power of borrowed authority, using the power of funnels. This is what really takes your whole experience to a whole new level. Okay, you got a lot of people that attended your summit. Now what? Well, you really need to make sure that you keep working with these people. So, number 1, you need to make sure that after the summit, people are overwhelmed. They don't really know what they need to do, what they need to go to the next step. They listen to so many ideas from so many people, they don't know where to start. First thing, give them a direction, give them a place to start, bring them somewhere. That's something that is incredibly powerful. The more you're able to bring your prospect, your people that attended the summit to a product, the easier it is. Now, if you finish the sales part and you want to go somewhere else, it's very important that you use those people to build a community. I've seen this over and over again. People that participate in a summit really become a community. They really love those speakers, they really love the learning that they got, and it makes such a huge difference for them. So it's extremely important that you also keep doing the same. And you keep on trying to understand what's actually happening. How is these people that attended the summit, how are they going to keep on evolving themselves? And giving them other topics that really take their journey to the next level. That's all that you need. A summit really makes the difference. One of the things that I really always do is that I do a survey for every person that signed up for the summit. I want to understand how was their experience, what did they like, what didn't they like, what will be the things that they want to learn next. That's a great follow-up so that you know what to give them next. A summit is very exciting. If you're watching this video, you're absolutely ready to get started. I'm sure you're already thinking about who I can invite, how the summit will be, what will be the name of the summit. I totally see that, and that's a huge juice that you need whenever you start a summit. Now, the thing that's very important for you to know is that it's a lot of work. A summit is not easy, especially if you're trying to do this all alone without any external help. It's really a big thing to do. But if you want to really take these things to the next level, get some professional on board. You don't want to make the mistakes that I made. You don't want to make the mistakes that a lot of other people made. You want to make sure you have the best team ever to run a fantastic summit. And if by any chance you're already a creator that generates more than 250K a year and you want to take your summit to the next level, that's what we at Scale for Impact do. So I'm super happy to jump on a call with you. You can actually just book a call in our description and we can help you to take your summit to the next level. And on the other hand, if you're a creator that's just starting out and are thinking to do a summit, please leave a like, comment or subscribe. I really want to know your journey. I want to understand how your summit is going and I want to see how this video has been helping you out. So my hope for you is that you will do a fantastic summit and that I will see you on the next video.